disclose?
Just whatever. You can do whatever.
Okay, Brendan, when I'm looking through on your x-rays, when you're on the table, I can feel all along here the hypertonicity that's in there, but it also feels like there's some swelling involved. And so what I was really curious about is the alignment right down here, and you can see how you're coming over this direction right here. We'll make it really obvious for you. Right like that. You drop that down, it makes it more clear. Like all the spinous processes, these things should all fit in there. And this right here makes sense for why we feel so much hypertonicity where it gets tight. But I've noticed, because I've known you for a long time, that sometimes it's there and sometimes it isn't. And so I wanted to see if there was something deeper going on. So this right here is where the nerve comes out. And the alignment here is really important for whether there could be nerve irritation. And with this setup, along with the spacing right here, it makes sense that sometimes by lifting wrong or just tweaking one of the muscles can set off inflammation around here that will irritate that nerve and cause the inflammation and the hypertonicity that we feel. But otherwise, there's fat disc spaces in here, which I really like. And as far as the height from side to side, this is the top of the sacrum. That looks really good. This looks good. When we go up higher, I was looking in here to see if I saw bone spurring, because frequently the area of pain isn't always the problem. Let's drop a line here too. So the majority of the thoracic lines up really nice. It's just as we get down into the lumbar. So you have to be really careful. You have to be really careful with when you're lifting, on making sure you're keeping your core nice and tight, that you're watching your form, because you're going to be more prone to being able to injure that area than other people who don't have that curve issue.
Got it. Okay. And then with my like shoulder and everything, like, does that contribute to that?
What contributes to that is I was going through your old x-rays. Right here. Because remember, this is supposed to go forward, and you've got nerves that are coming out that will, and also muscles that attach. So this right in here also affects your shoulder. Yeah, when we're doing treatments and all that in here, we have to be so careful in your neck with those levels. That a lot of this is involved in the home rehab program, and I haven't felt really comfortable using a Denny roll with you. So it just makes it more challenging. But all the new like functional neurology exercises that we're showing, like paint the corners along with adjusting, will really help that. Let's go. I want to show you. Let's go back to the very first one.
So with that area down there by what you call it, down here, would that cause like the tension right here as I breathe in to like expand, and it has like a sort of tightness around my like ribs?
That area, no, not from that area. there can be little nerves and muscles that are in between your ribs, and it's very
Mhm.
easy to have a subluxated rib that can cause that to happen, but there's also the possibility for something more. And
Okay.
and we're trying to figure that out, and that's why I recommended also adding in massage therapy
Mhm.
for her to go in and like slowly through the superficial levels
Mhm.
to get those muscles to calm down. And as I'm addressing the alignment and the nerves, she's helping with the muscles, and then I'll help us figure out what's what.
Yeah, because lately I've been having that like issue like a lot, like it just like expanding inward, and then but not like in the exhale at all. So like when I catch myself yawning, sometimes it just like catches and it's like, stops, like I don't know, it's like it like stops my like breathing for a second. I'm like, whoa, wait a second, like why is something, it's like something being closed in a way. So I don't know, it's weird. It's not like it happens a lot. I notice it more like in the morning time, and then as the day progresses, it doesn't do it as much. But I also know like lately, like when I've been just like laying down, like I feel more discomfort when I'm laying down. So it's I'm try to like stay up, which has really bothered the sleep and everything, because obviously I'm laying down and I can't get comfortable, especially with my shoulder like and everything, and if I can't lay on my back because of that. So like my go-to is like my stomach and everything. So it's really like disturbing that and everything. I haven't like seen much like disturbances like with lifting, although like with my shoulder, like obviously I don't know if like I'm double jointed there or not, but it's always popping and everything. And right now like I've been using like BioFreeze and everything, but like I'm like super like sore, like comes down from like here and then like goes down into my bicep and like these three fingers and everything. And it's just like really like intense. Like it's bearable, but like it kind of feels like like an ache in a way. So it's just been really like annoying, and I've been trying to stretch out and everything and all of that beforehand and everything. So I've cut down. I went down and like lower weights, or just not like working that muscle until like it gets better. Obviously, it's hard though. Most people don't know, like no matter what muscle group you're working, I mean a lot of everything works, pretty much everything in general. So it's interesting to see how the body like works, and all the different like muscles, and how they all kind of contribute all together. And then like with me, like with like lifting weights, how like so much like with posture and just like form and all of that can really like change everything. So I was doing this video because I want people to see what can happen, and how those things can be corrected. And
Okay, so let's talk about that. If you really want to table this and talk about it, let's talk about the big picture. So this right here, this straightening that's happening in your neck, when that starts to happen, your head's going forward, and then there's going to be a compensation that's also going to happen. Upper back, head goes forward, and then it will also affect your low back. So my philosophy is we get this area corrected first, so everything that comes below is not a compensation for a bad alignment here. So you've got the nerves that are coming out, there's going to be irritation there. You're going to notice that these are going to be tight, this back in here is going to be pulled, it gets tired, and usually by the end of the day you're feeling tension. You can get the wraparound headaches that happen here, but even more than that, right up here, mid and upper thoracic is having to work harder than what they're supposed to, and usually low thoracic is inhibited, not always weak, but definitely inhibited, so it's not taking on its workload. So you restore the curve up here, you stimulate the low traps so that it takes on, when it gets that message, it takes on the workload as fast as the mid and upper do, and then your pelvis will start, because the way it's stacking up, will start working with you
Yeah.
instead of against you.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's different philosophies in chiropractic. Some people go pelvis up, some people go cervical down. So from the neck down, I'm definitely like right up in here is a very significant area. You've got the brain with all the nerves that are coming down on less and less information as you go. When you get that area stabilized, there's a lot of unwinding and cleaning up that will happen underneath. And so you can look at this and go ahead and take a picture of that one over there. That is the curve that we'd like it to look like, and this is what it looks like. So this is more where I think this upper area comes into play.
And when you talk about like headaches and stuff, like
Uh-huh.
in the beginning, I actually had a video and I talked about what I went through this year with like anxiety and like depression and everything, and how like I was having those. Remember when I talked to you, I was having those constant like headaches and everything, which have gotten way better. Like honestly, like which is great. But I had noticed like now, and what you just said, that like kind of probably contributing to that. Like I wake up and I might have like that like headache, you know, kind of like, but as the day progresses and I'm moving around and I'm, you know, getting up and everything, it goes away. So I'm gonna assume that, you know, those headaches are because of like the tension and the pain and everything, and so and not so much of like what it was before. But you know, I'm also, you know, just learning about my body and how it works. And
morning headaches are ones to pay attention to because there are multiple reasons with morning headaches. And the one thing that, just as a caution to everyone, you waking up with morning headaches, you need to be checking your blood pressure, because a morning headache can also be a very high blood pressure that you want to be checking that. Otherwise, yes, it could absolutely deal with alignment while you're sleeping. And when you get into anxiety, that's slightly different with another approach too, because anxiety and stress, they put us into our sympathetic response, our fight or flight. And so a way to actually treat that is to stimulate our parasympathetic, which is like the opposite end of that. And with that, not along with maintaining the alignment, but you check into your breathing and make sure that you can really control a lot of your physiology by checking into breathing and controlling your thoughts, because repeat patterns stimulate your thoughts, create emotions that cause chemical reactions throughout your body and throw you more into that sympathetic response. Yeah, it's amazing how many components go into it.
With the high blood pressure, you know, well, when I don't know, maybe I need to like talk to my doctor, because maybe in the morning it's bad. I do take stuff that calms my heart rate down and everything, but I could have that high blood pressure in the morning, and then I'm not like actually on a blood pressure pill. So you know, it'd be something to, you know, think about and talk to him about and see. You know, it's kind of hard to be like, oh, like, you know, I can't just be like there in the morning, like as soon as I wake up and him like to check it. You know, I'd have to do it and everything. So.
And they make cuffs, like you can totally.
Yeah, I got one and everything, and I check it fairly frequently. I try not to check it too much. Sometimes it kind of like, you know, makes me nervous and stuff if I like I'm over what I should be. But yeah, definitely. There's so many things, like, you know, it's a lot. You know, I don't know how you like do it and like all the research and like keep that all in your like, you know, brain, and everybody's different, you know.
The really important question that we all have to go back to too is like, increasing our blood pressure is a compensation to try to circulate our blood around, and it's telling us that we need that increased pressure. And just by taking a medication that reduces that pressure might not be the best thing, because we need to figure out why we need that increased pressure. And if you decrease that pressure and you're not getting the circulation that you need, there could be some bad results from that too.
Got it.
It's amazing how complicated, as you start like diving in, just treating symptoms is not the way to go. We need to always go a little step deeper. And that's one of the things I love about being a chiropractor is that it's okay in my profession to think outside the box and ask the next question, to go a little bit deeper. But why?
Yeah.
But why?
I totally get that. Is there like, with chiropractic, or like maybe like your own like, you know, ideas and stuff, like regardless of like medication and whatnot, to like help with higher blood pressure?
Yeah, I think there's whole programs that can go into it where it's all the focus of getting you out of your sympathetic into your parasympathetic to help reduce that. It will vary on the cause of what's going on with your blood pressure. So I'm really a little uncomfortable on like for your video to like go, hey, this is what it is. But if I found out I had high blood pressure, the very first thing I'm doing is I'm gonna go and make sure that my C1, C2, and occiput are in alignment. I'm gonna make sure that my curve is looking good, and I'm gonna do my meditations. I'm gonna do all the things that I know that help with my stress response, and then I'm gonna follow up and make sure that I have my labs drawn to see if there's something else going on.
Got it. I've had my labs drawn and everything, and they've been pretty clear and stuff like that. Like I said, but before, my doctor has told me that, you know, he's not concerned about my blood pressure or anything like that. So, you know, it might not be that. It might just be, you know, the issues what I'm having, you know, with my neck joints and all that. And so we'll see.
We'll see.
And everything.
We'll
I mean,
see. Let's put a plan together.
What
Let's
is
see what we do.
what is our like next step? Like, what are you gonna work on for me to
Yes. But the next step I really want is I want you overseeing the massage therapist. She's a wonderful massage therapist, and I want to see how your body responds to that to see if we can get things calmed down enough and go in and get some adjustments going. And then you've got your MD following up with your blood pressure, but we're also encouraging guided meditation, right?
Yes.
There's some journaling also helps. I do it myself in the morning. I wake up, I do my guided meditation, and then I do my journaling, which is mixed with gratitude, because these are all things that just help getting us into our parasympathetic.
Right, and I agree. That I recently, just like the end of this year, got into journaling. And at first I was like, oh, that's weird, you know, like, you know, it's just kind of like jotting your thoughts, but we don't realize that there's so much that goes on throughout our day that our brain can't like fully process everything. And so like writing it down, kind of like a schedule in a way, like really helps like release like all that like pressure in a way, so you're not like going through a day like, oh my gosh, like this and this and that causes more stress and for anxiety for people. And so like, and it might not just be like what you got to do, like it could just be like, oh, I ate this today, you know, and it's just a, you know, a jot to tell you that, oh, like, okay, you know, keeping track of something, and you know, maybe it upsetted you or didn't upset you or it was good for you. And you know, it's a lot, it's weird, it's crazy, you know, there's so many different things you can do to like, the body is just such a, it's I call it like an unending like journey of like research that, you know, we are all learning, you know, as technology and everything like keeps going in this world. I wish, you know, we lived forever that we can just see it all, but that's not gonna happen. So, but yeah, I appreciate you know, everything and stuff like that. And if
sleep too.
Sleep, yes, which has been I've been, I don't know if it's just because like of the pain that I've been in or like the tension and whatnot, that I have a hard time sleeping, but I'm just not tired, you know, like I do end up falling asleep and stuff, but I'm waking up like 2-3 times, you know, and it's not like I can't go back to sleep. I do go back to sleep and everything, but I just feel like there's a lot of inconsistency, and so it's not like I'm fully, you know, getting there. So I don't know, you know.
Sleep's a whole nother topic and a whole nother video.
Right. There's a lot you can cover, but I appreciate it and everything. So if you guys don't know, this is Dr. Tiffany. She's from Bridge to Health. Go check her out and everything. She's amazing. She's awesome. If you guys need work done or whatever. But yeah, so I appreciate your time and everything. And we'll, you know, get to finishing this, and I'll see you guys in the next one.